Hey, everybody, welcome to the show, Speak to Impact with Kelly Kaye Walker. And as you know, my favorite thing is to do speech evaluations on this podcast. And so Karaleigh has graciously volunteered to give a speech that she's doing for a Toastmasters speech contest. So I am hoping that she wins. I'm rooting for you, and hopefully this evaluation will help you.
Yeah.
Yay. So Karaleigh, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started speaking.
Awesome. Well, I have always wanted to be a speaker, and I took a I took a public speaking class when I was in college and felt like a failure when I didn't win the huge competition. So then when I graduated college, I actually started a podcast and got a lot of practice in. And it turns out all those reps really help make you a better speaker. And then I joined a program to help me become I really always wanted to be a singer. And so I found this program that combined public speaking with music. And I was like, that is it. That's the thing. That's the dream. I want to get on stage and combine public speaking and music. And they suggested that I join Toastmasters to get in more live practicing because podcasting is not live, like standing on your feet in front of a group of people.
Yeah.
So I joined Toastmasters, and that was kind of history. I have been doing it ever since. And last year, I actually did win our club competition, and I got to whatever comes after that area or something, and I came in second. So
Nice.
I'm excited for this one. My big struggle is that I am way out of time. And I'm just going to be straight up honest with you. I'm not even going to try to be in time with this.
Yeah,
So
don't worry.
my
I will
question,
not disqualify you.
right? My question for you with my big thing that I would love help with is,
Yeah.
what should I cut? What
Wow.
should I take out of this? How can I shorten this speech? I just gave it literally 30 minutes ago to my son's fifth grade class. They
Wow.
loved it. I love giving it. It's so much fun. And without the time limits, it probably hits when I recorded it yesterday. It was like 9.5 minutes, which is 2 solid minutes overtime.
Oh my
When
God.
I gave it at Toastmasters on Tuesday, it was 30 seconds over. It's supposed to
Oh,
be 5 to 7 minutes, and 7.5 is the cutoff, and you're disqualified.
okay.
So my question is, what do I cut to
Yes.
make this shorter? When I'm just in the zone, it flows and I'm confident and it's all great. But I have to cut something for the competitions.
Okay. No, that's good. Yeah, I will definitely focus on that. What can you cut? And I am
Yeah.
setting my own timer so I can see it, but you can't.
Okay.
So I'll know how much time-wise we need to cut out.
Yeah. And it's different when, I had written the whole thing out, and
Yeah.
when I just read it verbatim from what I'd written, it was on time. But when you're
Mhm.
just,
Right?
you always go longer.
I know it's never the same when you're giving it live.
And I'd already gotten some feedback about rearranging some pieces of it. And
Mm.
when I tried it rearranged, it was even longer. So,
Oh no. Okay. Yes. All right. I'm down. This will
yeah.
be. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna hit my timer and I'm gonna tell you to go. Okay.
All
Ready?
right.
2, 3, go.
If you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will spend its entire life feeling stupid. It might feel like it just doesn't belong. It might even feel worthless. It might ask, what is wrong with me? Have you ever felt like that fish? I certainly have. Except for, as I thought about this metaphor, I realized I'm actually not like that fish at all. I look terrible in yellow. I hate getting wet, and please don't make me go swimming. I am actually much more like a peacock. Peacocks are dramatic. They have those incredible feathers, and I look so much better in teal and blue and purple. I mean, obviously. Also, I did some research and I found out that peacocks are one of the loudest animals in the world. Yep. My Patronus is a peacock.
Ah,
Also, I asked my mother, and it turns out that when I was born, I didn't have one of those cute little newborn baby cries like every other child at the hospital. Nope. I had an epic operatic wail that echoed through the hospital halls. When I was a child, my parents were in charge of the children's choir at church. And they would jump up and down and flail their arms and beg all of the other kids to sing louder. Except you, Karaleigh. You need to blend in. By 5th grade, I had made a New Year's resolution to become a shy person. Well, I failed at that one. My authentic enthusiasm would just ooze out at every turn. No matter what I did, I could not help but be me. Now, here is the very important message that I came to share with you today. That thing that I spent my entire life running away from and trying to get rid of, turned out that was my greatest gift. Maybe the thing that you've spent your whole life trying to not be is actually your greatest gift, too. I want to tell you about the hinge point. That's the moment that changed everything for me. Every good story starts with a dream. My dream has always been music. I could just see myself on the biggest stages, standing in the spotlight by myself, singing at the top of my lungs to adoring audiences, cheering as loudly as they could. But the problem was that just like all of those tree climbing and non-tree climbing animals, there's a lot of different kinds of music. And I really struggled to figure out where I belonged with all those different kinds. So I started with what felt natural. Started singing the music that just came to me. Until some YouTube trolls told me that I was fat and I needed voice lessons. Pivot. What about opera? For a big girl with a big voice, surely opera was it. That's gotta be where I could find success. 1 decade, 2 auditions, and 3 kids later, I finally gave up trying to get into the BYU opera program. Pivot. What about being a singer-songwriter? I love writing music. That's got to be it. So I took a singer-songwriter class at BYU. And our first assignment was to write something. Well, I can do that. So I wrote what came to me. It's dark in here, but at least it's safe. Confined in here, but it's familiar. But still there's a part of me that longs for more. A certain something inside of me that wants to explore. My teacher took all of our songs that we'd submitted and played the very best ones for the whole class, but not mine. We got to hear a steady stream of pop and rock and people playing with their ukulele and playing with their guitar, and I realized that my song was really different from everybody else's. I went up to the professor at the end of class and asked him what he thought of my song. His words made an impact on me that I wouldn't fully understand for years. He said, "You can sing, but that doesn't mean that you can write." Pivot. I tried rock. I tried pop. I tried jazz. I tried any other kind of genre that I could fathom squeezing my big voice into. I still couldn't figure out where I belonged. Are you ready for the hinge point, the moment that changed everything. Now, I have to tell you that hinge point sounds like a single moment in time. It's actually more like a series of realizations. So, realization number one, this is not what I want. I was so desperate to sing that I was willing to sing anything. I had the opportunity to work on a sync project with a friend. Sync is when you are trying to write something to license it to TV or movies or something like that. And this was a techno pop song. If you heard me singing just now, you might realize that my voice was not exactly made for techno anything. So, as my friend was trying to coach me into getting my voice to sound like the reference track, she told me I needed to get rid of all of the vibrato and all the slides in my voice. It felt like taking all of the me out of my voice. And I realized this is not what I want. That recording process was miserable. Realization number two. My voice is a gift. I had the opportunity to sing at church right around that same time. And at church, you kind of just get to sing however you feel like it. I got to sing one of my favorite songs in the whole world and just was free to be all of me. And by the time I was done, somebody walked up to me and asked me where I was trained. What a compliment. And I realized that my voice made an impact. My voice is a gift. Number three, I was enough all along. I started thinking about what that professor had said to me. And I went back and I listened to that song. That song was called Take the Leap. If I allow the pain to find me, will it break me or make me? If I open myself up, will it kill me or build me? Should I leave all my passions or should I take the leap? I went back and listened to that song and I realized it wasn't a bad song. It was musical theater genius. I was enough all along. If you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will spend its entire life feeling stupid. Have you been judging yourself for your ability to be somebody else? It's time to take the leap and just be you. Yay. Yay.
You did. That was 9 minutes and 48 seconds.
That was even longer than what I timed it yesterday. Dang.
Oh my gosh. I need to let my dog in really quick.
Yeah, go for it.
He's scratching. Hello. Okay. Man, that's going to be hard to come up with.
I know. That's why I've really
minutes.
struggled.
Ah, so hard.
How do I cut this down and make it if still as effective, but cut out something when it feels like it's so powerful as it is?
Oh, that is so hard.
Because it's got to be 5 to I need to cut like bare minimum like 2 to 2.5 minutes of it.
Yeah, at least. Because once you get up there, you're going to go a little over.
Well, this is the 4th time I've given it. So I did that. Like, I can do it just like that probably because I've done it so many times now.
Yeah. Man. What if you took out one of the pivots? Are all the pivots equally important? to you to get a?
Well, I could take them out, or I could take one out, but it's not going to be 2.5 minutes.
I know that's true. We'll have to take out some other stuff too. Oh my goodness. That's going to be so hard. Um, my, I think maybe cutting out the whole singer-songwriter part could get you maybe down because then, well, and on here, the high notes cut out, which is unfortunate, but they wouldn't in person. Um, are you married to the idea of singing in your speech?
So I talked about this with my husband, and he was like, "Well, just cut all the music." And I was like, "Well, it does sort of demonstrate like the whole purpose of the speech." So when I gave it at Toastmasters and it was 30 seconds over, I had cut the second singing piece and only sing the first one.
Yeah.
So I could just sing like 10 seconds and still have it demonstrated without
Yeah.
doing all
Okay.
of it. So that cut a significant chunk.
Okay. Since
Originally it had like a minute and a half of singing in it, and I had cut it down a bit.
oh my gosh.
I know.
But that's really the challenge with Toastmasters is 7 minutes
Time limits.
is not long. Okay, I would say cut that out. I love that you have the fish climbing the tree at the beginning and at the end. Um, I love the peacock. Um, maybe you could cut out the screaming in the hospital voice. Maybe. Um, I'm just thinking of like which things move the story forward the most powerfully.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, I have like 3 micro stories that
yeah.
could go, which, um, yeah, I
Tell
could
me
go.
what the 3 stories are.
So it's the quote, and then I talk about the peacock, and then I'm like the baby cry, and then the children's choir, and then 5th grade being shy. And then I go into the hinge point, or your greatest gift is being you. But then I go to the hinge point and the dream. I have my outline in front of me,
Mm,
which I didn't really use, but it's been helpful.
yeah,
Because otherwise, I'd be summing it up and being like, I have no idea what I just said.
I know. I really love the peacock. Oh, I did have a question. Why did you say you look terrible in yellow? What did that have to do with anything?
Well, so my shirt is actually teal. You can't see it over Zoom, but I'm
Okay,
wearing like all teal.
so you're wearing peacock colors.
Yes, I have my peacock hat. I'm wearing, so if you
I
can't
love it.
hear or if you can't see this and it's just audio, I am in a black sequin jacket. I'm wearing a full teal shirt. I've got a very feathery peacock hat on. I've got my teal makeup and it fish are yellow. That was my like what do
Oh,
I'm
fish.
not a fish because fish are yellow and they swim.
Oh, see, I think fish are silver.
Oh,
So
that's
that's
interesting. Okay, yeah, it was my
mm.
I had 3 other things that fish were. So that was why.
Oh, gotcha. All
I was
right.
thinking of a goldfish.
Oh, a goldfish. You could
Yeah.
say a goldfish if you
Yeah,
judge
I was
a fish by its ability to climb a tree.
right. My brain was like goldfish.
Then I look terrible
It
in
was supposed to be funny.
okay. It just confused me. So maybe just leave out the color part.
Right. It doesn't, yeah, and it doesn't have to be that. That was just supposed to be funny. One
It
of the thing is I do struggle with adding humor. I tend to be really intense and
yeah.
dramatic and like motivational, but I don't tend to have lots of like humor in my speech. That was my like terrible attempt at adding humor in.
You know what would actually be funnier maybe is I look terrible in scales.
Ah, yeah. Well, yeah. Except for I could totally pull off mermaid. And then I'm like loving
That's
the scales. That's why I think I said my Patronus is a peacock.
I
That
loved
was,
that line.
that was totally my other attempt at humor.
I loved it. I loved it. Keep that. I get rid of the yellow, keep the Patronus. That was
Okay.
adorable. Um, maybe leave out the part that in 5th grade you tried to run away from your voice and be shy.
So I just cut that whole beginning and just go right from the quote to the hinge point. So if I'm like, if you judge a fish by its ability to, I know, if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, then it will spend its entire life feeling stupid. And then I go right into, let me tell you about, well, and then I go into the peacock. I'm not really like a fish. I'm really a lot more like a peacock.
Yeah.
And let me tell you about the story that changed my life. Let me tell you about the moment that changed my life. Everything starts
How
with a dream.
about how about let me tell you the story of I discovered I was a peacock.
Okay,
Or I discovered I was more
I
like
like
it
that. So
than a
other feedback I had gotten was to start with a story instead of the quote. And I tried it and I didn't like it.
I love the quote. I think
Didn't
it's a
feel right when I
story.
tried starting with
Yeah,
that.
it's a cute way to start.
So I'm
I love the
gonna
quote.
write that down. Let me tell you how I stopped trying to be a fish.
Yes, and
Stop.
embraced being a peacock. I love that. Yeah, and I hope you can get it down.
Yeah, it's mostly been timing issues. And then if I cut the other music, hopefully that's enough.
Will you be able to see a timer?
Yeah, I mean we have the red, yellow, green
Okay.
lights.
So if you unexpectedly get faced with a red light when you're not quite ready, what are you going to do?
So I have hinge point one, two, and three. And I had timed out when each of those are supposed to hit, and
Oh,
those are hitting close to the end. So
yeah,
I should be knowing like if I'm not on one, two, and three by yellow
yeah,
or by green, then I should be able to time that out in time and be like, if I'm not on number one by green, then I need to be getting there.
yeah. And then remind me, what was your call to action?
My last line is, have you been judging yourself for your ability to be somebody else? It's time to take the leap and be you.
Oh,
And since this is a motivational speech for a competition, it
mhm.
doesn't have a greater call to action than motivation.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to. I just couldn't remember what it was.
Yeah, which I'm hoping that that ties together with the quote. It's quote bam bam.
Yeah. Tell me how you worded it again.
Have you been judging yourself for your ability to be somebody else?
Are you married to that?
No, and I can never seem to remember it. So
It feels really weak.
I have that one line written down here that I have to keep coming back to. So I
Yeah,
can't seem to remember it.
it's not the right one.
Okay.
I think a more powerful way to say it would be, and more memorable, is stop trying to be a fish climbing a tree. You know, don't stop trying to fit into somebody else's idea of success.
I have like, how have you tried to squeeze into other people's boxes? But I'm not using a box metaphor. I'm using a fish.
Fish. Yeah.
Stop trying to be a fish
Yeah. Or
or climb a tree.
stop being a fish trying to climb a tree and embrace your ability to swim. Something like that. Don't don't be the stupid fish climbing a tree. I don't know. I just feel like there's a really way more powerful
Yeah.
way to say that.
Okay. I'll revisit that.
What do you say right before it?
The quote.
Oh, you say the quote again.
Yeah.
All right, and remind me the quote. Say it
If
again.
you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will spend its entire life feeling stupid. Which it's a quote, but it was originally attributed to Albert Einstein, but they've discovered that he didn't really say it. So it's kind of doesn't really have anybody that they know who actually said it.
Oh, that's funny.
So I don't actually attribute it to anyone in my speech. And I don't feel like I need to since nobody
Yeah,
knows where it
that's
actually came from. It's been falsely attributed to Albert Einstein for a really long time.
that's funny. So how about this? How about instead of the thing is feeling stupid because you're trying to do something you weren't built to do. So if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will spend its life feeling stupid. And then say, what what are you trying to do? No, why aren't you
Yeah.
are
I
you?
need like one really good wrap up line that I can memorize and bam, takes it all home.
Have you asked ChatGPT?
No.
Yeah, and I love Chat. I'm going to ask it really quick. ChatGPT. And I have the paid one, so I really love it. I use it literally every day. I ask it questions all the time.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Do you know the fish climbing a tree quote? Yes. Yes, that one. Okay. Please give me a final line for a speech imploring the audience to stop being that fish.
It
This
is
is
a
really good.
skill. It is a skill to know what to ask ChatGPT.
That's true. That's true. It says, so stop being the fish trying to climb a tree, drowning in doubt, gasping for validation,
What?
and struggling against a standard that was never meant for you.
Oh my gosh.
Instead, it's making me cry. Instead, find your water, own your brilliance, and swim like hell toward the life you were meant to live. Boom! I love this. I'm going to
You
send this
just,
to you in
yeah, I was like, I'm trying to
messages.
write that down, but
Oh, so
what?
good. I love
Okay.
ChatGPT. There's your new ending.
Okay. That's
Yay.
amazing.
Uh,
That's powerful.
I love that so, so much.
I
Okay.
feel like my brain is fried, so that's really helpful.
Yeah, good. I love it. Okay, so keep the fish, keep the Patronus, cut the fifth grade, cut the singer-songwriter. And I really feel like
So I'm also going to be cutting the baby cry and the children's choir.
I think so.
Yeah, I love them, but
You will for sure be in time then, I think, if you cut those.
yeah. I
And
mean, I'm thinking that I might be still using the whole speech and speaking to
yeah,
other to
keep the whole
schools and
speech
doing this
too.
more, but for
Sure.
the competition, I need to be in time.
Yeah, that's what I would cut for the competition.
I was really surprised, like how, like I was worried about giving the speech to fifth graders, to 10-year-olds, and how they'd respond to it. They loved it. They were eating it up. So
So good.
it, yeah, I was wondering if it would work for that age group, but it totally did. So
That's excellent. I
yeah.
love it. Perfect.
Any other besides timing stuff and getting it
Oh
down,
my
like
gosh.
what
You're
other,
so good. You're so animated and energetic, and you just so get into it. You basically perform your speech. Like you just step into this, it's my spotlight time. I'm going to give this
yeah.
amazing speech. I love that about you. Um,
I've gotten feedback before where it was like, you're too big, you need to be less on stage.
isn't that funny?
Yeah.
And let me ask you this. What do you think of the speaking style of the people who give you that feedback? Do
You
you know?
know, I'm trying to remember the people who gave me that feedback, and I think a lot of them were my husband. And I'm always telling him who has that natural
Yeah.
charisma, but doesn't want to show it on stage.
Oh
Like,
my gosh.
where is it? You have it. Come on.
I think being a speaker is the place you get to exercise that skill. You get to show off that gift when you're a speaker. So, yeah, don't listen to that. That's not true. That's false. That's you making people uncomfortable with your comfortableness being big.
Love it.
So it's not your feedback, it's their feedback.
Well, and this is my speech that tells you, like,
Mm.
I've spent my whole life trying to be small because I got told so often that I was too big, too much, too passionate, too
Right.
sparkly. And now I'm like, oh, maybe I should just own it.
Yes, own it. Have you read that poem by Marianne Williamson about what
Oh,
our
love
greatest
it.
fear?
It's my
That's
favorite.
what you give people permission to be loud and sparkly.
Yeah. Well, and owning it with my outfit is a huge part of this
Owning it.
speech.
Yes.
Like, this is so,
Yes. I love it. I love it all. I think if you don't win, it'll be because of time.
well, and there's other excellent speeches too. Like, I'm not, that's one thing I've learned about competing is like, I don't need to win to prove that I'm a good speaker. And there were times when I did, And I'm so glad that I'm not in that place anymore.
That's good. Yeah. Because you can't tell yourself, oh, I suck because I didn't win. It's wow, I got to speak against some other really good speakers with really good speeches, and we all
Right.
did amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
you still make an impact
Right.
even when you don't win. Like you never know whose life you're going to touch just
Right.
because you opened your mouth.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's always worth it, whether you win or not. I'm seeing if I wrote anything down. I think all I wrote were things that I loved. I love that you did this with the pivots. So like it was super obvious that we're you
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to cut that part because I was like, I got a lot of feedback that was really powerful.
yeah, keep the pivot.
And it's permission to change.
Yeah.
And I feel like we don't get that a lot in our lives. And I want to give that to the audience of
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I really like that. On my one of my favorite lines was any music I could fathom squeezing my big voice into. Keep that line. That was a really good line. Loved it. Yeah, I thought it was super good. I don't have much constructive feedback. Just yeah, that was really good feedback. Keep that feedback. Do you have any
thank you.
questions? Anything you want to ask about it?
No, I've been like, how do I get it shorter?
You know, that is the hardest. Well, I think this will work. Practice it before and tell me how it felt with those things cut out.
Yeah.
Because I wanna know how you feel with it. If it feels smooth or if it feels like now something's missing.
Yeah. Well, I'm super excited about that last line. That was like, whoa, I never would have thought about asking ChatGPT and
But
amazing. Well, and I heard you when you were saying, and I was like, that is an incredible skill set to know the right words to ask ChatGPT.
yeah, I've been working on that a lot. I am very much obsessed with prompt engineering.
Yeah.
It's my hobby these days.
Yeah. That's
I love it.
amazing.
Thank you. All right, well, that's all I've got. Anything
Thank you
else?
so much. That was amazing. Thank you.
Yay. Now, if somebody wants to find you, get a hold of you, track you down, how can they do that?
So my name is hard to spell, which means that if you look for me, I'm easy to find.
Yeah.
So CaraleigHgarrison.com is my website. I'm Karaleigh.Garrison on Instagram, Karaleigh Garrison on Facebook. My album's out. If you just search my name on
Nice.
Spotify, you'll find me.
Nice. And Karaleigh is Karaleigh. So there's a
There
lot of ways
is
to spell that.
there is an artist named Karaleigh. So you have to search for
Wow,
Karaleigh Garrison. I know, and it's spelled just like my name. So you have to search for Karaleigh Garrison to find
that's
me. But
crazy.
I know, isn't that wild?
Yeah,
I know.
dude.
I know.
All right.
That was a bummer when I couldn't just go by
I
Karaleigh.
know that is really sad. I know. There's a Kelly Walker out there in Australia, but a singer. Not that I'm a singer, but so that's why I use my middle name, Kelly Kaye Walker, just because of that,
Yeah.
just to differentiate.
Yep.
All right. Well, this was fun.
Yeah, thank
Thanks
you.
for letting me evaluate you.
Yeah, thanks for doing it.
You're welcome. What day's your contest?
February 18th.
February 18th. Okay, we'll be rooting for you.
Thanks.
This will be out by then.
Okay. Sounds
So
great.
people will get to watch it before you compete.
Sounds good.
Cool. Well, have an amazing day. Thanks for being on the
Thanks.
show. Everybody, thanks for watching and or listening. We will see you next week on Speak to Impact with Kelly Kaye Walker. If you want to have your speech evaluated on the podcast, just send me an email at speakingcoachkelly@gmail.com and put evaluate in the subject line, and we'll get you on the show. All right, well, that's it for today. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we will see you next time. Bye.